something that I've been paranoid about, but it's like turned into a whole new problem, which is like I'm always paranoid that my zipper is down. So
okay.
Yeah, it's like a real paranoid thing to the point where like I keep catching myself like almost anytime I get out of the car, I'm like checking
your crotch,
checking my zip. Yeah. But like I'll like be walking into a gas station or walking into like a Target or something, you know, and I'm checking the zipper and I'm like, to the untrained eye, it probably just looks like I'm doing some self-love every time I'm walking into a place. And I think I'm creating a whole new problem that instead of, oh, like, look at that goof, his zipper's down, that's embarrassing for him. I'm worried now that it's going to be like, look at that pervert, like touching himself at the gas station.
Yeah, you're going to be on the list now.
Yeah, so I'm worried that my paranoia has created something far worse for myself. And I'm not really sure how to remedy this situation to save off the paranoia to keep me from becoming a pervert that goes to Target. So I don't know if you've got any advice for me to help me out.
Well, I was going to say, first of all, to alleviate some of your concern is you are already a pervert, but you're just not a public pervert. So it's like, it's not that you'd be, it wouldn't be the first time you'd be a pervert going to Target. It would just be the first time that people would see
like
that.
Catch on.
Is what you're concerned about. Yeah, they now see it.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, so I guess like be confident in yourself and your ways is what I'm saying.
Don't change in your pervertedness.
Yeah. Don't change for anybody.
Yeah.
You know what? Go with your zipper down already. Like go in with the zipper already down. Then you won't need to touch it because you'd be like, well, I already know it's down.
It's like don't be bashful. Just let it hang loose.
Yeah, let somebody, you know what? That's a good conversation starter because then someone would be, at least a concerned citizen will just be like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but your zipper's down. That leads me to a story, actually.
Oh, no.
Okay. So I was at work, I was in this was like when I needed to dress business casual for work. So I was wearing my nice slacks and I was wearing a button-up shirt. And I'm on the elevator with one other person. And then as we're about to exit the elevator, the person is like, I'm sure you know this already, but there is a big split in the back of your pants. And I was like, no, I don't know that. Why would I be wearing these if I already knew this?
Hey, I'm sure you already know that you have sliced open the back of your pants so that
I'm sure,
so everyone can see your butt hair,
right? So that you don't have to pull your pants down when you do number two. But it was I was like, hey, I'm gonna go home because I need to change pants.
I mean, I feel like that's a really good excuse to leave work.
I should come with split pants more often is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's my advice if you ever need to just jet from work. Because no one's going to expect you to stay there with a hole in the back of your pants.
Right. But you know what? These are good conversation starters because it's like once somebody approaches you and does that, you could be like, oh, thank you so much. So how long you been here? And you can get that. Maybe you make a new friend.
But like after a conversation like that or after a statement like that, can you move on? Can you transition to a normal conversation? Or in the back of that person's mind, they're going to be like, this guy just has a hole in the back of his pants and he's so casual about it.
And I think that's the challenge. And you like challenges,
Yes, so, I guess. And I like game challenges, not life challenges.
Think about life as a game, bud. Because now
life is a game.
Well, I guess that's the problem is you like roguelikes. If you die, you can't come back and just...
there's no coming back.
Well, that's the thing. You go home, you come back with better pants. And then you try it over again.
I heard from a wise person once that life was a dance that you learn as you go.
Okay.
Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow.
So if somebody says, hey, your pants are ripped open, you just start fucking dancing.
You just start dancing. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the takeaway.
You stare them directly in the eyes and you boogie.
I don't
and
even
you make
respond.
them feel embarrassed. You make them feel bad.
Right now, who's the fool?
Who's laughing now? the NerdSloth Podcast, where two lazy nerds talk about whatever we've got the energy for. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
Aside from really pertinent life advice, we've got all kinds of fun things to talk about today. One thing that I did want to ask you on a more serious note, I've seen that you've been playing a whole bunch of Grounded, which you mentioned that you were going to start doing on the last episode. And I don't know much about it other than it is a survival game where you're basically, it's kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is my thought. But like, how's that been going? Like, let's talk about that game that's been out for how many years?
Oh my God.
What's that like?
You know what? It's like, I've played survival games before. Like I played Ark.
Yeah, I played that with you a little bit.
Yeah. You, I mean, you played with us one day.
We had that glitch where like I died and for whatever reason I started ascending upwards. Yeah. And then you started trying to chop me up and you stole all my shit.
Yeah, the heavens were calling. You had to go back. You were poochied away.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, like, so I played that one. That one's fine. Very challenging. And then Grounded is a more casual version and maybe cleaner version of that. Because that one's kind of messy and, glitches easily.
Okay.
But Grounded is very clean and has a lot more quality of life changes to it. And like it starts out pretty easy. Like your worst fear is like a ladybug. It's like, oh no, like I'm not strong enough to take on a ladybug because those are basically tanks to you at the start because you're so small. You're four kids, teenagers, I think, that are just like shrunken down to minuscule size. So essentially, a ladybug would be like a literal tank size to you. So those are like the most fearsome creatures in your starting area. But then it comes to a point where you're like, all right, I can take on ladybugs or whatever. Now I've crafted armor. I've crafted ladybug specific armor out of the carcasses of the many ladybugs that I have slain. And I feel stronger for it. Yeah.
Cool.
But then you get to like some later areas. It's like, oh, these bugs are now exploding. They're contaminated with some kind of chemicals. It's really dark here. I have to go underwater. So I need to create my own mask or I'm going to drown. It gets super challenging. And the point that my brother and I are at now, because his daughters are out of town for the weekend. So it was just he and I playing. And like, we're like, oh, I don't know if like the girls could handle this because it is like so challenging right here at this one area. So we're trying to like clear a bunch of it out so we can at least like reap some of the benefits and get some armor pieces so that they can then craft some armor to kind of stand up to the adversaries in this new area. And also, but it's got some really cool mechanics to it though, because it's like, if you think about just any kind of RPG or whatever, you've got your basically the ability to be whatever kind of class you want, quote unquote. All the kids are the same. Like you don't have stats or anything, but there are stats in the armors and weapons that you pick up. So those kind of form the way you're playing your character. Like I'm playing more of the tanky character so that stuff kind of focuses on me and I can take more hits. My brother's playing an archer right now, so he's keeping range. And then, the girls are playing their own thing, but there's like ways you can heal, ways you can do things like that. So it's like almost like a miniature MMO where you're all playing, you have specific class types you can play. You're not forced into anything. You can change it at any time. Just change up your armor or the mutations that you've gathered.
Yeah.
And we're having a really good time with it. I love the way that you craft the armor out of like the bugs or whatever creatures you're hunting, because then it feels like there's progress to it. And it's like, yeah, I've now crafted this like set of armor that has these specific bonuses to it. So it's a lot of like the things I like about games like that, but just condensed into like a smaller kind of friendlier looking package. But it does have like a real intense challenge level to it. It's not as like kid friendly as it seems from first appearance.
Yeah, I was gonna say it does look like it's a kid type game, but that might just be because I'm associating it with like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like visually, yes, but it has a real good challenge level to it, even on the normal setting. And you can like customize your own, because the way that what I like about it too is like with Ark and stuff, I had to like purchase a server to basically, or rent a server for a year so that we could all play together and be on the same like dynamic server. In this one, you can have a shared world, which is like somebody starts this shared world and then you're jumping into it, whatever. They then save it, but it's saved to all the people who they choose for it to be saved to. So then I could load that same save up if nobody else is on and host it and then like they could jump in on mine, but we're all sharing the same, I guess, server because like it's saving on all of our games, not just one of ours. So it was just like whoever gets on first can just jump in and do whatever, and then they just invite everyone else to it. So it's not a living server in that it's not running while we're not playing, but if one of us is on, then any of us can jump on to the same server wherever it left off.
Right. So it's saved more to like character's progress rather than saved to the server itself.
Yeah. It's like we're playing through a game, but we're all sharing the same save. So that if like I'm not on, but my brother and his daughters get on or whatever, they can make whatever progress, save it. And then whenever I jump onto their save, then it picks up wherever they left off.
Okay. That's kind of cool. I get that. What other survival games have you played or like enjoyed? Because I feel like that's a genre historically you and I haven't really dived too much into. Like I know we did a little bit of Ark, and I know you played that a lot with them. We did Tribes of Midgard for a little bit, and I played that one. I got really into that for a while, but I'd say that's more of like a survival light because that's like one that, that it restarts like every time you play, you hop into a new game. But you're just like, you're foraging, you're fortifying. That one's almost a little bit more tower defensey, with some survival things built into it. But like, are there other survival games that you've enjoyed or that you're interested in?
One that I really like to look up, but I haven't played a ton of, but I would like to play more of it if I had. See, okay, so the thing with survival games first, let me preface, is that I don't like playing them if I'm not playing them with other people who I know.
Okay.
Because that's fair. The fun of it is like you're doing this together. If you're playing it alone, yeah, you can do it. And a lot of games like have like different kind of modes. You can do that more efficiently, but it's like, at that point, I'm just playing a normal game. It doesn't feel like a survival game if I'm doing it by myself. Mm-hmm. So what I was leading into was Don't Starve Together. Have you? I'm sure you know of that one. Yeah, I love the art style, like the Tim. Oh man, why am I?
Me and you tried it once. Name? We tried it one time.
We did, but so briefly.
Yeah, we didn't give it a whole lot of time. I think we did it for one stream, and like we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
And like we kept getting separated, and I think that was more because of me being kind of an idiot, and then like I kept getting killed
blindly, like going in there trying to struggling at figuring out what to do and not figuring out what to do. But I like the Tim Burton-esque art style of it.
Is great in that.
Yeah, it's basically like a living Tim Burton concept drawing, essentially. And
sure.
So that's really cool. That's a survival game. I don't know a whole lot about past what we played, and obviously that's really popular. They have Don't Starve, which is the single player version of that, but Don't Starve Together, as the name sounds, does like reinforce teamwork more and multiplayer and working together. So that's the part of it that I would like to play.
Sure.
V Rising is one that I also played for a little bit, and it's really cool. I think I was playing the early access version of it. I'm not sure, but V Rising is you're a vampire, and you're basically all vampires. Whoever's playing with you, you're reconstructing your own castle, and also like facing different sort of like hunters or different kind of beasts and stuff, and trying to regain your strength. But time of day really comes into play there. So it's like you don't want to be out in sunlight because it weakens you and is hurting you. So but you can go out in the day if you stay in the shadows. You just have to like really be good at like sneaking around or like hiding under shadows of trees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And but you're going to be less powerful than you would be at night. So nights when you want to do most of your hunting and stuff for your resources, that is one that, as far as like last time I played it, like I had to have a server that I purchased. That was like the server space I purchased for Ark. I also had V Rising space on there too. I don't have that server anymore, so like that got wiped. But I didn't play that for so long that it really mattered.
Sure.
But that's one to look into for sure if you're into like vampire lore, just monsters in general. And it's kind of a Diablo-esque, like 3/4 top-down view as far as the visuals go. But it was really fun, and getting you're kind of like getting new powers based on who the last victim you drained is. Like some of them will have like stats that will be more tanky, some will be more stealthy, whatever, and those last for a period of time, and then those start running out. So you'll need to go like re-up your blood thirst thing.
So basically, your stats or powers at least could change depending on who you drank from. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's a cool
or at
idea.
Least your skill set. Yeah,
so, that's cool.
And then as you beat bosses or like different kind of world creatures or whatever, you're able to get new abilities that are you can bring into your arsenal. And you can only have, if I remember correctly, like a set amount at a time. So you can have to decide what abilities you want to be focusing on for your character. But it was really fun. And you can make a vampire that's just like, you know, the more like regal type or whatever, or you can go like straight Nosferatu looking like monstrous vampires. It's really neat. Yeah.
I never played that one, but I know that there was a huge amount of buzz when that one came out. Like everybody was talking about it. Everybody loved it. I didn't realize that it was kind of like a survival kind of game. I was thinking it was more of like a hack and slash style since I had not really dived into it. So that's really interesting to know.
Yeah, it does play very Diablo-like,
right?
But it is a survival game.
Yeah, I didn't realize that aspect of it. So that's pretty interesting. I've got a few games I think that I had purchased that were some survival ones that I just have not gotten into. I can't remember if I bought them or if I was mooching off you. I think I bought at least one of them. Because okay. I think they're ones that I think I remember you saying at one point you weren't really interested in. One was The Long Dark, which I wanted to get into that for the longest time, and I just didn't because at the time that I bought it, there was just a lot of other games that I was really into, and just it never panned out that I played it. And I'm also kind of the mindset of you of like, I don't know, like it seems like a fun idea at the time, but then it's just like, I don't know, whenever I do play a survival game, I feel like I get bored real quick unless there's someone to talk to and goof around with and, you know, do things with. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just running around collecting things and like just waiting to be able to do anything because I have to constantly collect things and wait for some sort of, like there's always some sort of time management aspect that I'm like waiting on something for. Like, oh, I got to wait for a day so I can go out and finish collecting these sticks to build my shelter, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that grates on me quite a bit. I don't like grindy stuff that much. There was another one I think that was similar to The Long Dark. I think it's called The Wild 8. I think both, when I say similar, I think they're both just take place in like a snowy, I don't know, like Alaskan sort of atmosphere or something. And I believe I've got both of those and just have not touched either of them because they both looked cool. I just, you know, haven't popped in, but there's something I'd be interested in trying out sometime. And The Forest and Sons of the Forest both look interesting because I like, you know, I love horror stuff and I've seen some real spooky stuff from those games. But again, it's just kind of like, the grindiness of it, I'm just like, I don't know.
Those are kind of semi-interesting to me, but like with survival games at this point, because like you're saying, it can get very grindy. So you want to have at least like a skin on it that is appealing to you or can stay interesting. Like with Grounded, you know, it's like we're these teenagers around these giant bugs. So it's cool just how over the top that kind of stuff is, and that makes it really interesting to stick around with. If it was something like, oh, I'm just a normal man in a normal like snowy place and I can find normal things like, that's me. Here's a gun, normal here's a man. Rock. Yeah, I am Norman, and and here's some rocks I need to collect to make a fortress so I can protect myself from bears or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Like that sounds boring in the long term for me. Like maybe it's a good game mechanically, but I just wouldn't stay interested in that. But something like Valheim is another interesting one that I've not played, but it looks super interesting because it's like Norse mythology. Like you are a character in that, so you're fighting like skeletons, giant trolls, gods probably of some sort.
That's sort of the thing I enjoyed about Tribes of Midgard was fighting those huge giants.
That was cool, but it is very tower defense-y.
Yes, it is.
Like you were saying, it's not. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just a different type of game.
Yeah.
Than like one you can keep going on, because it's like it's less survival and more like round based, where it's like you're going through, and then once you're done, once you beat this god, like you're done, like that your session's over. It doesn't like continue.
You're stuck on like waiting for the next season to come out, because they do seasons and they keep doing them, which I appreciate that. But it's kind of like, unless you want to achievement hunt, which I know some people are all about that and love hunting achievements, you know, like beat Cerberus 5 times or whatever. Unless you want to do that, then it's like you beat it and then you go play a different game until, you know, the next quarter, when the new boss comes out. Like they give you a Hydra as a boss, I think was one of them, and they add boats to the game, and then there's like, oh, okay, now there's new content and a new boss, and then you do that, and then you gotta wait again for the next new season, and it's cool idea, but
yeah. There is another one called Smalland that is similar to Grounded, and it very much so, just because it's like
it already sounds.
But
like
instead of like instead of like kids getting shrunken down, like you are these like creatures who have inhabited the earth for whatever period of time, and you're just very small, like kind of fairy-like creatures, I guess.
Oh,
but it's similar in the sense that like a lot of the enemies are just giant versions of things that we are just small to us as normal size. So it's like, but in this one, it's more of a combat action based, I guess, in a lot of ways, because you can like get your own, like you could basically tame a grasshopper mount or something. So you could have be riding on a giant grasshopper
cool.
and like moving across the world. That's one thing I wish they had done in Grounded, is have like the ability to ride the bugs in some way, but not the case.
That surprises me that isn't in there, because I would have assumed that's like a default thing. Because especially when you first started talking about ladybugs, I'm like, okay, you're going to be riding one at some point, right? But
that was my thought and what I was hoping for. Huh. But it's mainly sticking to bugs and just I guess it's like your main concern is not having fun in this world in Grounded. It is like trying to figure out how to regrow back to normal size, which that's understandable. Yeah. I get it. You're not trying to form a permanent thing. You just want to get out of there.
Sure.
But in Smalland, like you are small already. And so you're just trying to survive and persevere through this world where you're much smaller than these other creatures. Yeah, you're trying to live your best life, and stuff is like interfering with that. So you're just it's a hazardous world to you that you're trying to overcome. But also getting to ride grasshoppers or frogs or whatever just sounds super cool. So that's one. Right. It's early access still, so I haven't played it, but it's one I have my eyes on. And apparently it was being made like around the exact same time as Grounded, so it's not a ripoff of it or anything. They just are very visually similar at first glance.
Speaking of small, I want to break a little bit of a stereotype real quick and talk about going from small to getting big, getting swole.
Uh-huh.
And I want to talk about something that like I feel like wouldn't get talked about usually on a nerdy kind of podcast. But I've been starting to work out again the last couple days. Yeah, like I hadn't worked out for, several months. It's probably been like 6 months or something like that. I've gotten like big and doughy the last several months while Rochelle was pregnant, and then we had the baby, and it was just because like I was friggin' tired all the time. I was working myself to death. And now that baby's here, I'm like, I kind of reached this moment where I was, Rochelle had bought in this book. It's like a baby book kind of thing where you like write in some info that like you would give to, we'll give to our daughter years from now. And I was just kind of thinking, oh man, like, I hope I'm still around years from now. Like when she gets this thing, like I better make sure that I'm, still like that I'm in healthy form so that I can know my 20, 30, 40-year-old version of my kid. So I was like, I better get back on the train here. It's always been a stereotype that nerds and fitness do not, mix, but you are in amazing shape. So I want to point that out. For those that don't know, Joseph, Joseph is ripped as hell, and I think anyone would be impressed. If you haven't seen him on Instagram, you'll see all kinds of shirtless pics with all those muscles and abs. And I'm more of like the strong fat, I would say. Like, I got some muscle on me, but I also got like, a bunch of dough around it too. And you and I have very different kind of like workout routines and stuff too that we both like. But I also have horrible eating habits. I thought it'd be interesting to talk to you a little bit about like your sort of like outlook on what your fitness is like and your process and things like that. And I know that you've kind of like every once in a while you do kind of integrate your nerdiness into it. Because I remember every once in a while you used to go to the gym wearing like the leotard and like the luchador masks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that was cool as shit.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to talk about that kind of stuff a little bit because I thought that was super cool.
I was thinking about this the other day, to your point initially, where you're talking about being around to see your daughter as she grows up.
Yeah.
That was something I was thinking about heavily. I think it was Friday where I was like, the reason I am working out so much now when I don't have to is so that I don't need to later on in life, essentially, right. Where it's not like, oh, now my doc. And the reason I even thought that was because like when I was at the gym the other day, I saw just a bunch of like older, like out of shape people like having to do like very light workouts and stuff. It's like, oh, they're probably like here because they have to be because their doctor is like, you got to work on your mobility or something. I don't know.
For sure.
I'm just making assumptions, but I say this because it's like, the more you take care of yourself early on, the less, I guess, the less like taxing is going to be later in life for you.
Yeah.
And so that's at least my mentality going into it now. Before it was just like, I just want to be in good shape so I can show off or whatever, wear Spider-Man cosplay and feel good about myself. And now it's more like I'm doing it for that reason still, but also for my health, because I'm like, I don't want to be like super out of shape later on or like in a lot of pain as I age. I want my body to be used to some kind of like fitness routine.
Right.
Because I also see a lot of like videos of like 70-year-old men and women like getting like who are just like super ripped still or just in really good shape and just like doing amazing things. Like, I want to be like that when I'm that age, Yeah,
I like that.
So for my like, I guess my mentality on it though is like, it doesn't matter necessarily how you look visually as long as you're happy with yourself in whatever shape you choose to be. But I will say like, please do consider at least throwing in some kind of fitness into your weekly routine just helping your life in the long run. Like whether it's cardio, whether it's resistance training, whatever, just like throw something in there. Just keep yourself moving and active. Because I think that's not only better for your body, but also your mind, for me at least, because like I feel so much better after a workout and just so much more clear that I'm like, yeah, like I can do anything else today because I've earned it, because I've done my due diligence for the day in taking care of myself.
I can say this because I am one of those people that, and I will partially blame this on my ADD issues, but also just, on the everyday laziness of things that I get too. Like I am a constant or a chronic like stop and starter where I will go so strong for so long and then I stop for so long. And then, so knowing that, starting like day one, like motivating yourself to do it the first time is always the hardest. Day two is way easier. Like, I feel like once you can get over that step one hurdle of like hitting the gym that first time, like then it's like the next time that you want to go to the gym, like you've already kind of broken through the barrier. You feel that motivation. It's because you've already done like one day of exercise. And yeah, it releases those endorphins. You feel good about yourself that you did something. And so like you've already gotten a little bit of that reward. So you're just like, oh man, yeah, like I actually kind of want to go again. So
yeah,
I guess I can't say that that's how it works for everybody. That might be presumptuous, but like for me, that is typically how it is. I know that I have a tendency to do something like go on a trip, go on vacation, get out of my habit. And then it's like I have to do my day one again. And then I keep putting it off, put it off. And then all of a sudden I gain like 20 pounds like 6 months later and I haven't gone. And I'm like, dang it. Now I got to do this all over again.
I mean, it's fine to take breaks and whatever, but just try your best to get back on your routine as much as possible. That way you're not resetting the progress you've made. You know, that's a hard thing to not do. Like there was a good year that I didn't work out at all because I just got like, I don't know, uninspired to do it. And I still like tried to be decent about what I ate. So I didn't like lose too much progress, but it's still like, you know, muscle I've lost, fat I've gained or whatever that I'm like, man, if I just like stuck to it, like that wouldn't have been there. And then it just feels bad and you have to start fresh and like that's just not a process I wish on anybody because it's terrible. But if you're able to just stick with it, even when it's hard, even though it will be sometimes, like just do your best to get out there and do something because man, it'll really help you in the long run. Not only physically, like I said, but also mentally.
We both like weightlifting, but we tend to do like different types of things. As far as I know, you stick with a very similar routine each time. So what does that kind of look like? Do you just do like, 3 days a week, you do the same routine or what do you do exactly?
So I moved up to 4 days a week just because I wanted to like pump it up a little bit more. But since I'm going to a public gym, I'm kind of victim to, well, what machines are open right now, depending on the time of day I go.
Sure.
So I kind of have to fluctuate a little bit, but my general rule for myself is like, okay, I want to do 6 exercises total at least, which is about an hour span, because I'm doing 3 sets of each exercise. And then I try to get between 6 and 8 reps in each of those sets. And the reason I do that is because like if I can do 12 or more reps in the set, then I feel like, okay, I need to up the weight a little bit. And that helps me track my own progress internally where it's like, okay, last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago on this weight, I could only do 8, but now I can do 12. So it's like, okay, maybe it's time to bump it up 5 pounds or something. And so that's helping me track my progress. It's helping me make progress. Time under tension is a huge thing. So it's like, don't try to just like rush through an exercise. Don't do it as fast as you can. Like really like push and like hold it at the top of an exercise or something as long as you're able. Well, not as long as you're able, just like for a little while and then bring it back down slowly. So I think just like really focusing on form is something that I wasn't doing for the longest time. And now that I've started doing it, I'm really feeling and seeing results from that because form was like a secondary thing to me. Before it was just like, all right, I want to lift the heaviest weight that I possibly can. My form was so bad because I was having to compensate in all kinds of different ways just to lift this weight.
Sure.
That it's like, I'm not working the muscles that it's intending to work. I'm just like really like putting it all into my arms or something. But instead, it's like if I'm trying to do a shoulder workout, I don't want the weight so high that I need to use my arms to push that weight up. It's like, no, keep it light enough to where it's like, okay, my shoulders are doing the work or my back's doing the work, not my arms or not my legs or whatever. So I think that's something I wish I had known or wish I had like learned earlier on, because I think that really would have helped with progress as far as like being better for me in the long run. Not that you won't make progress here, but if you're really trying to like balance your growth, then that's a really good way to go about it, is make sure your form is good. Even if you feel like even if that means taking the weight down a little bit to ensure your form stays as good as possible.
It'll help you avoid injury too, which is...
Yeah, for sure.
One of my favorite things to do is trying different types of exercises for the same muscle groups. Like, so today I did like I was just basically concentrating on arms, doing like biceps and stuff. But I did 2 sets, but of like 4 different styles of curls just to like hit all the different like smaller muscles within the arms. So, whether it was doing hammer curls or doing like drags, the supinated curls, things like that, like the reverse. And I also love doing CrossFit. I'm not a CrossFit bro, I swear to God. I really like endurance challenges along with stuff. So a lot of times, like I'll do workout stuff, but I'll do some sort of like CrossFit kind of thing in between days, usually I'll set like a certain kind of like circuit up where I have like 4 or 5 exercises and I do an AMRAP of like, I just keep doing it in rotation for like, 15 minutes or something like that. So in between my like lifting days, I'll do those, and I really like those. So,
okay.
But yeah, that's kind of like what I like to do. That's kind of a fun challenge for me. Do you have like, is there anyone that you like get inspired by or like to watch and see what they're doing, whether it's like a YouTuber or someone on Instagram or something like that, whether they're just straight up fitness or if they're like nerdy fitness kind of things?
I really don't. Like,
sure.
If I have questions about a certain exercise, or if I'm like, all right, I want to make sure I'm doing this form correctly, I'll look up somebody, but it's not like I look at a specific person. I just look up the general exercise and I'll see whatever the top viewed one is, and I'll just go there. But there's nobody who I follow and I'm like, okay, I religiously follow this person's like workout and their workout ethic or whatever. I'm going to follow exactly what they do to get their same results, because that's just not going to happen. Like, we're all built differently. So I am doing things. I would rather do things my own way with kind of a compilation of different ideas I'm getting from different people to see what works for me. So just like an amalgamation of different skills and advice I've heard over the years is kind of what I've built mine off of, not basing off anyone in particular. So I'm not to say that there's like not really good ones out there, because I know there are, but there's just not anyone personally that I follow.
Sure. I've got like kind of a core group of folks that I tend to just check out every once in a while. And it usually started through that by like looking up how to do certain things. John Glod's one of them, obesetobeast. He's a really cool kind of a nerd too. So really fun to check him out. Really incredible story too of how he used to be super obese and now he really is a beast with the T at the end there. Let me think. Leanbeefpatty, she's really cool. And she does a lot of like flexibility training too, which is cool. Will Tennyson he's funny. Basically, that's why I like him. Same for Ryan Humiston. He's an older guy that's super fit. One thing I like that he does is like he'll hook up like sensors to certain like to his muscle groups, and like he'll do different traditional exercises, workouts, and things like that. And then actually gets like digital feedback, like actual data to see like what's actually working the muscle the hardest and stuff. So he can kind of see like what's been the most beneficial and stuff. And I just think that's super interesting to see. Kind of puts a little bit of that science nerd in there. And then just there's a group called Nerd Fitness that I really like. They have a bunch of good coaches. Staci Richardson's one of their coaches. I really like her. But they have like lots of coaches. They have like a fitness camp, which is really cool. And they are, without a doubt, a huge group of nerds. Like I saw some videos from their fitness camp that they held, and like they're doing not just like teaching you like lifestyle changes, teaching you about dieting, teaching you workouts and stuff, but they're also doing like sword fighting kind of like training and crossbows and like, archery and all kinds of cool stuff. And they're also playing games. Like they had like a whole N64 corner set up at their camp and all kinds of cool stuff. And I'm like, man, that's so awesome. I would love to go to a like, retreat camp like that. That's really cool. They play D&D a lot. I'm like, that's awesome.
Something that I really enjoyed, and I haven't done it in a long time, but now that I'm thinking about it, I might rejoin, is rock climbing gyms. Whether you're doing like the free climbing or the like the high, I don't remember what it's called, but where you're climbing higher but you're harnessed in. Yeah. Like both of those are such good challenges. I really enjoyed the free climb because it's like you're not climbing so high that a fall would like hurt you, and plus there's like tons of padding on the ground. But it lets you like feel like full motion. There's not a support from the rope or anything. And you're just like getting up there, and the different color of, I guess, climbing points that you're going towards, that kind of sets your difficulty. Like at least at the gym I was at, like the lighter colors were the easier ones, like white was the easiest, and the darker colors were the harder versions. I don't remember if it was like purple or something that was the hardest one, but essentially you're setting your own difficulty level by like, okay, I'm going to try the white like path today, where you're just climbing up the easier ones and you progress as you go. And that's just really fun. And it's a really good workout too, like on your shoulders, your back, your legs, really a full body workout because you're using everything to just stay up there. And also like really working on your balance and your core strength.
I like that idea. I've never done rock climbing. Rochelle used to do it all the time too. She really enjoys it. So
yeah, so fun.
As you were talking, I wanted to mention too that I always liked. So if you ever hear the term like active resting, which is I don't have to do it too much if I still do my like little CrossFit like endurance things in between my workout days, but it's like one way to just keep your muscles from getting from getting too much pain to them because you're actually like getting more blood flow to them on your rest days rather than doing absolutely nothing and then the blood doesn't get there. So like if you have like an active rest day, it's like maybe you do like if you just did chest workout the day before, maybe the next day you do some like push-ups or something like that, just to make sure you still get some blood there and it helps you heal. So someone that I used to know would have like a D20 and they would have like certain like light exercises assigned to each number. And then on their active rest days, they'd roll it and that would determine like what they do that day. So they might roll it a couple times that day and just, get a variety of a couple things. And I always thought that was kind of cool. So
hair of the dog workout edition.
Yeah.
Like instead of consuming more alcohol to fight your hangover, you're just working out more to fight your post-workout pain.
Sure. Like even when I had a coach, we did stuff like that. It'd be like if I had a heavy lifting day, she would have me do really light resistance bands the next day with some of the same muscle groups. But like about a week in when I did it, I felt it was way nice. Stronger. I was tired all the time, but it felt great.
I want to throw in one last thing because we didn't touch on food a lot at
more
all. We didn't
thing.
touch on food. Any throughout. So that it's so important to eat the right amount, not necessarily the right kinds of food specifically. Like you don't have to go like, I don't know, only broccoli and chicken all the time or whatever.
And don't eat like iceberg lettuce salads all the time. That's garbage. That won't do nothing for you.
Lettuce is literally just like water. Like
just drink a glass of water.
or just eat spinach. It's better for you. It has more minerals.
Yes.
But more vitamins. But what I'm saying is like, if you start like download like MyFitnessPal or something, they don't sponsor us. I'm just saying that's what I've used for years. That helps so much because it really helps you kind of view like how much you're taking in every day. And you don't have to use it all the time. You don't have to weigh your food all the time. It helps for me. I do it because it's just a habit now. But that way you can see, and then you'll start to kind of visualize what you're eating and be like, okay, I've already had this much today. Maybe I should eat a lighter dinner, or I've had a very light breakfast. I'll eat a heavier dinner, whatever. Just helps you scale your day and what you're taking in. And that more than working out, more than anything else, what you're eating or how much you're eating, portion control is what's going to give you a different form. It's like you were saying earlier, like even if you're working out a lot or whatever, if you're eating poorly, then it's just, you're going to stay doughy or whatever.
That's always my problem is like, I have a food addiction for sure. So that's always been my biggest issue. So that's why I'm like, I'm strong fat. Like I can really put on a lot of muscle, but like I struggle curbing my eating, like you said, to get rid of all the tubby that's on top of the mussy. So those are terms, tubby and mussy. We're going to use those from now on.
Oh, it sounds pretty gross.
I just made them up though. But we're going to use them.
Well, I wish you hadn't,
out.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so abs are built in the kitchen. There is actual like fact behind that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Speaking of things built in the kitchen, no, this has nothing to do with that. But okay. One thing I want to bring up before, because like we've done a lot of talking about working out and everything like that, and now diets and stuff. And some folks listening are probably like, get back to more nerd stuff. So I'm gonna. We think about the new Mario Brothers game coming out, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, because I think it looks wonderful. And I'm very excited for it.
I haven't looked into that at all. I didn't watch the Nintendo Direct. I just caught highlights from it.
Yeah, same. I just looked at the trailers for that and the Mario RPG remake because you sent it to me.
Yeah,
and,
I was excited when I saw that.
Y'all know I'm hyped for that because we have talked about that game on so many episodes, and now they're doing a remake, and I am so here for it.
I feel like we materialized that, and that makes me very happy.
I'm going to call it now because I noticed this in the trailer that they show Valentina, and they show her get hit, and her boobs don't jiggle. So I'm gonna call it now that there's gonna be a bunch of bros that get super mad about this game, about this remake, because those boobs aren't jiggling when she gets hit. I bet you anything there's angry bros out there about it.
I would be surprised if people didn't complain about how, I guess, tiny Mario looks. Like his physiology just looks kind of funky in the remaster or remake. It's like it's Mario, but he's very stubby. Like he's a lot stubbier than the usual Mario. I don't care, but I feel like some people are going to complain about that.
Yeah, I don't. People are going to complain to just complain. Here's something. People were complaining already about. So the other one, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, complaining. They're like, oh, they replaced Charles Martinet. No, they didn't. It's still him. He's just Nintendo's been using the same clips of this man's voice for like 15 years. He just got a little older. Because they got him back in the booth. He just sounds a little different. It's still the same guy, and everyone's just mad about it. Like, no, that's not my Charles Martinet.
That's not my Mario.
Yeah, just shut up. God, dang it.
The one complaint I do want to bring up, and it's a very serious one, so I want you to hold on a second. Okay. Brace yourself.
Okay. Let me take off my shoes and sit down real quick.
Yeah, please. Yeah, have a seat. Make sure. Yep. So let's talk about Mario Kart for just a moment.
Okay.
And I just want to bring up the addition that no one wanted, no one asked for.
Yeah.
And they have cursed us with.
Okay.
Is one of the new characters.
I haven't seen this yet.
Added.
So you're breaking this news to me.
Yes, breaking news for you. Okay. So one of the new characters they've added. The other two, I'll say the other two first. So I'll lead into it.
I'm going to breathe.
The first one, Piranha Pete.
That's dumb.
Awesome.
But sounds dumb.
That's fine. That's cool.
Sure.
Like, it's just a piranha plant, dude.
Why is Nintendo so obsessed with piranha plants? Didn't that happen in Smash Brothers 2?
Sorry, PD Piranha is his actual name.
Why? Why do they want us to love piranha plants so much?
Okay, that one's fine, because he was a golfer at a certain point, too, in Mario Golf. It's whatever with him.
Okay.
Comic, I'm not sure how to say his name, the wizard dude.
Kamek? Maybe it's Kamek. Sure. I don't know. Yeah, I know what
honestly don't know.
That's a good poll.
Awesome.
That's a good poll.
That's good. The one that I have issue with is Wiggler. Do you know who I'm talking about when I say Wiggler?
Wow.
He is the caterpillar or whatever.
Wait, how would Wiggler drive a go-kart?
That's what I'm saying. And he's already a car. Like, there's a car of Wiggler that you can drive. So it's like Wiggler driving Wiggler.
I love that idea of just Wiggler inside of himself.
No, that's a cursed image.
No, that's good. That's good. Ooh.
I hate it so much.
Wow.
I just want them to scrap Mario Kart 8, make a Mario Kart 9, keep Wiggler out of it. That's my only request.
You want them to remake this game just because of Wiggler.
Just to kick Wiggler out.
Oh my God.
I can never play this again.
That's so funny. I love it. I say keep Wiggler in because that's funny.
No one asked for
Wait,
this.
how does he look? Is he like hunched over or because
I mean, kind of. How many legs does Wiggler have? I'm not sure. Too many.
I would assume he's got at least 8 to 10 legs. Probably 10. I need to see an image of this because I don't understand how this could work.
Okay, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 8 legs and 2 arms. How does he fit in the car?
Since when does Wiggler have arms?
Yeah, he's got hands. Okay, well maybe they're legs with gloves on. But what I'm saying is they're there. Man. It's getting worse and worse.
Send me a picture of this. I need to see this in real time.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Hook me up.
I got a decent one.
Okay.
I'm still trying to find one of them actually driving a car, but this one will give you an idea what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right, check it out. Discord.
Okay.
You see what I'm talking about? Are those legs that have gloves on, or are those actual
I'm pretty sure
hands?
those are legs with gloves.
That's wrong.
I mean, he's cute, but like
no one wanted this.
How does this work?
That's like a bullet bill driving. You can't. That's not. That's not right.
If he's got 8 legs, that man's a spider. That ain't a caterpillar anymore. That's a spider. That is a messed up spider.
I need to know how he fits in these cars. Look at that car he's next to.
Yeah.
Try to imagine.
No, there's no way he fits
getting
on
in
that
car.
thing. There's
Unless
no way.
his other legs are hanging off the back of it, just like twirling around in the wind. I
am just, my thought is that he's got to be 2 legs wherever, like in butt, where everyone else's legs and butt goes. He's got to be arched up like an inchworm and like just super hunched over.
So he's just hunched
do it.
Oh, gross. That's worse.
There's no other way. Right? There's no other way to do this. Yeah, there's the Wiggler motorcycle. Oh, wow. Oh, man. There's no clean way. There's no clean way for this to happen and be okay. It can't
Wiggler
be.
Okay, I'm going to send you an image and I want you to tell me how this works.
Okay.
This image is him riding in the Yoshi eggshell car.
Oh, God.
Where does it fit?
Well, and here's what's weird is like those arms are much farther down than the one in the new version of him.
Yeah, that makes more sense the way he's driving there because he has gloves on his second set of legs too.
Yeah.
So he's got 4 arms and 4 legs.
But I gotta tell you, that version of Wiggler looks even more cursed than the one we got because I don't like him doing the airplane move while he's also driving this car.
Was he ever in a Mario Kart or is that a mod, you think?
I don't know.
Okay, here's like a picture of the...
This has to be a mod because look, there's the...
Oh,
you're sending me a picture
Electrode.
and I'm seeing the Noid from Domino's.
I didn't even notice him.
As a playable character. You got all these Nintendo folks and then there's the Noid.
I was so fixated on Wiggler's like proportions. I didn't even
there's the
notice
moon
it.
from Majora's Mask.
I didn't notice.
You can't play the moon. I love that.
Oh, man.
That's great. There's Santa Bowser for some reason.
Ignore that image. Let me find an actual one. I need to see gameplay.
I can't ignore that image now because now I need the Noid in Mario Kart. Like we need it.
Just remember to avoid the Noid.
I am going to absolutely campaign for the Noid to be in every Nintendo property from here on out. You know.
Wait, he was in Mario Kart 7?
Wiggler was? Or the Noid?
Wiggler.
Oh, okay. Oh, that reminds me. I have a gift card for Domino's. Huh. I should use that. I mean, their pizza
on
sucks,
the facts here.
But I mean, no hate, but your pizza's garbage, Domino's. No hate though. So you can't get mad at me because I said the words no hate. It's law.
I don't know, man. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't.
I get it.
Maybe he's been in game or 7 before, and I just didn't realize it.
I don't even remember.
I'm real sad.
A Mario Kart 7, to be honest. I thought maybe they did like they skipped one and just went like Mario Kart 3 to 8. I don't know because they wanted to because they really wanted that cool infinity symbol. Because like I feel like they're never going to do another one. They're just going to keep doing.
They're stuck with 8 now because it's infinity, so it's forever Mario Kart.
Yeah, well, and I think I feel like that's the plan. Is they're just going to keep updating this one. And in fact, I take that back. From here, they will just call it Mario Kart Infinity at some point. And they will just keep adding more Wigglers.
Yeah, because there is like a season pass of Mario Kart now.
Yes, there is. So it will be just either Mario Kart or it'll be like Mario Kart Infinity, and they just keep adding more and more. Is there any characters you want to see in there aside from the Noid?
Oh, man. I would like to see what's the Lakitu? Is he in there yet? Or is he just still a cloud guy, still hanging out up there?
He's the dude that helps you when you try to drive off to your death.
I know, but is he a driver yet?
No, he's not he can't because he's got the most important job, which is starting.
No, he is in there. He is a driver. He's been in there.
Are you serious? How?
I'm serious. He's right beside the shy guy. I just forgot.
Beside the shy guy?
Yeah, on the character selection screen.
That you're still looking at the...
I don't think this one's a mod. I think this one's real.
This fake one with the Noid on
it. I'm pretty sure Lakitu has been in there. But aside from that, okay. So let me throw this out there. And this is a prediction / wish.
Okay.
Since they are remastering Super Mario Brothers RPG, bring Gino and Mallow into it.
Yeah, they should.
Into Mario Kart.
Do you think maybe now with this remaster, they will start using some of those characters and stuff?
That's what I'm hoping.
There's lots of like other And you know what? Here's the dumb thing Nintendo's going to do. This is what Nintendo's going to do. We're going to be like, oh, good. We'll finally get like Gino or Mallow in like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart. Instead, they're going to be like, they'll do another Nintendo Direct or Treehouse or something like that. And like they'll tease like a Mario RPG thing because you'll see like a background. And it'll be like, come to Smash. And we'll get like Bellum or one of the dumb bad guys that we don't want. We'll get Booster maybe,
I'll tell you what the first thing we'll get is like an alternate skin for Mario where it's like, oh, it's Super Mario Brothers RPG Mario.
Yeah. Man.
Just add Mallow. Just add Gino.
They'll give us the doll version of Mario since they give us like in that game. Because when the little kid has the dolls that he plays with, they'll give us the doll version because they have like 7 different versions of Mario in this game at this point, dude. Metal Mario, Gold Mario, whatever. Gross.
My ultimate wish now is Axum Rangers.
Oh, there you go.
Give the Axum Rangers their own cart. It can be like you don't have to make a character for each different one, but just like make interchangeable skins that you can be any of the Axum Rangers, and they do have their own cart too. I don't know what it would be, but it would be like whatever that big purple head is, the axe head thing, that it has to have that incorporated into it.
I bet Smithy ends up in Smash Bros. Because he would be an interesting character, because he can change forms and make stuff, and that's the only argument I got as to putting him in there is that it's kind of interesting.
That would be cool though. We do have some bulky characters in there already, so why not add Smithy?
Why not add Smithy? I think that'd be
Bearded
cool.
Smithy for the win.
Yeah, and as far as characters I want to see in Mario Kart, I want to go. I just want to throw stuff at the wall. I want them to put Zangief in there from Street Fighter.
No, you're going to at least keep it with Nintendo.
Hey, he's been in a Nintendo game.
Well,
Street Fighter came out on Nintendo before.
Yeah.
I just want to see this huge, bulky dude with chest hair bent over this tiny little cart.
I would be surprised if there wasn't some sort of like Street Fighter racer, if not an official game and a mod.
I'm sure there's a mod somewhere, but like I don't think there's any Street Fighter racing games out there. Be fun. I mean, I'd be into it, but I don't think there is.
Oh man.
Wait. Did you find something? You said that sounded like you found something.
Oh, I found one called Street Racer that is
not the same.
It had a character. Oh no. Wait, is that E Honda?
I don't know, man. You tell me.
I'm gonna show you the image and then you can decide for yourself.
Someone make us a Street Fighter racing game, please. We'll play it.
It would be so easy. Just get like your pickups can just be the powers in the game, like Yoga Flame, Hadouken. But see what I'm talking about? There's E Honda right there.
He does look a lot like E Honda. I feel like it's more like homage,
Maybe, but it's got the red paint on the face and everything. I just think it's too close. I just feel like that's like a crossover type.
It is definitely a sumo wrestler with red paint on his face in a similar manner, and he is slapping someone as he drives by. But what is that in the top left? If not, like, is that Garfield? What is that?
That I don't know.
Can you have Garfield and E Honda in the same racing game? I don't know if that's possible, but I think they did.
That's a crossover I want to see.
Yeah, Garfield and Street Fighter. Oh man,
I bet somebody's done that in a fighting game with the Mugen program.
Oh sure, why not? Why wouldn't you?
We've learned a lot today.
We have learned a whole lot today. Is there any stuff that you're looking forward to in the coming week?
Yes and no. So
great answer.
Okay. Well, okay, I want to say I've got 3 games already on my backlog. I mean, I've got thousands of games on my backlog, but on my immediate backlog, I've got Tears of the Kingdom, which I started and am not even close to finishing because it's a very long game. I've got Street Fighter 6, started, not even close to finishing that story mode.
Yep.
I've got Diablo 4. I'm probably like 75% through that one, maybe.
Sure.
But even after you finish the story, there's still like a ton of content afterwards. So it's like, I'm not done. You can never be done with that. And then Final Fantasy 16 is one that like, I think it just came out and I want to play it so bad, but I have to discipline myself to beat at least one of these other games before I do that. Not to mention that I'm still playing Grounded with my brother, which is also really fun. And I want to, get through that one as much as we can. So it's like, I just got too much to play right now.
Yeah. What a terrible position to be in. I just got too many games to play. My life's terrible.
It is a problem. It's choice paralysis is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Choice paralysis. I got Diablo working on the Steam Deck. It plays real well. The Steam Deck just, runs like a plane taking off a little bit, but it does work. And I got to tell you, as far as like how it controls, how it feels, prefer it than playing it on the PC by far.
Really?
Yeah, it's so much easier to play it on the Steam Deck. It feels way more intuitive, feels much better, especially moving with that joystick rather than the clicking with the mouse. So much better.
Yeah, I've started using my controller for that reason. Like, it wasn't something that was like really, I guess, incorporated well into previous Diablos, especially like the older ones. But now this one is like made with that in mind, and the movement feels good. You don't have to, like you said, you don't have to do the clicking anymore.
Sure.
Aiming is easy with the joysticks. You've only got like 5 abilities to worry about, so you're not like trying to figure out how to map your buttons. It's just all there. Yeah, that feels nice.
Yeah, it makes it way easier. Other than that, like I don't know what else I've got going on, but I know one thing, which is a couple of weeks ago, someone in our Discord posted a link to a video, and this video was a pilot for a cartoon that I did not know about. And I don't know if you looked at it, man, but like, I kind of want you to watch it because I started watching it and I was like, I have to watch this, but I really want Joseph to see this too. This is called The Legend of the Hawaiian Slammers. This was when POGs ruled the 90s, and everyone loved POGs. Of course, some cartoon studio was just like, we've got to somehow find a way to make a cartoon about POGs. And like, they found a way to make it like an action hero kind of thing, where it's like the slammers that like these kids can acquire have like heroes, like ancient heroes contained inside. But there's also evil slammers out there that like an evil scientist is trying to get like the evil shadow slammer.
Oh boy.
Oh god, dude. It's just the theme song alone is really gonna bring it home. I'm gonna try to watch that and report back next week. And I would love it if you would watch it too, so we can talk about that because it looks amazing.
That has to be just a like 13 episodes max. It couldn't have gotten multiple seasons.
It did not get more than the pilot, and that was it.
Oh, okay, good. Thank goodness.
No, it just got the pilot and nothing else happened. And it looks like everything you would expect it to be. So yeah, I'll send you the link to that. I'm super excited for it. Maybe we'll post the link in the show notes too. So folks can take a look at it.
I will check that out because I'm morbidly curious about it.
Yeah, if anything, the theme song is going to get stuck in your head because it's been in my head all day.
At least it'll get Denver the Last Dinosaur out of my head.
Yeah, it will. It will. Trust me. This is the one to do it. I'm so excited.
It's a slammin' volcanic adventure based on the trading cap phenomenon. Trading caps. That was a thing we had when we were kids.
Yeah.
So you kids wouldn't understand, and I'm glad you don't.
I mean, at least they're sticking with some aspect of where POGs came from because it all came from Hawaii. Because like I talked about at one point in front of my mother-in-law, I talked about how I loved POGs as a kid, and she was just like, really? That was something we had growing up in Hawaii, and it was just like literally it was like milk caps. And we played with those all the time. I don't know why that was popular. I'm just gonna read a synopsis I found, and then we'll call that it. Imagine that you are Ronnie, the kid who finds a golden slammer that explodes from a volcano and releases a superhero named, well, I don't know how to say this, Sunum the Hawaiian Slammer of Light. Your discovery pulls you into an awesome battle against the corrupt Dr. Von Fragman and the evil Shadow Slammer, the first one to find all the slammers inside a maze of lava tunnels before the volcano erupts, rules the destiny of Earth. You ready for that?
I don't think anyone can ever be ready for that. I was wondering though, like, what is POG? aside from like play of the game now, but what did Pog used to be when it was just the Pogs game? And now I know. And I'm like, should I have educated myself on this? Because that kind of demystifies it a little bit.
Well, okay, what does it stand for?
Okay, Pog is Passionfruit, Orange, and Guava juice blend.
Oh.
POG, Passionfruit, Orange, Guava.
Oh, so I wonder if that was just like the caps.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was the caps they used to play with were Pog.
Yeah.
That was the dairy product or whatever they were using.
Yeah.
So it's Pog caps, Passionfruit, Orange, Guava. So now anytime we talk about Pogs, we have to say it. Passionfruit,
Orange, Guava. Then you just add some slammers to it, and you got a game. You got a game brewing, my friend. With Captain Caveman on them, and some flaming skulls on some of them.
I had the coolest Juggernaut slammer that was like gold. That was my favorite slammer of all time. I had a
big old heavy metal one with a big old skeleton on it. I think it came from like a Goosebumps thing. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, there's an original Pog right there that you just sent me. Very cool.
Yeah, the cap for the actual milk cap cover.
Yeah. From Maui. Yeah, that's where my wife's family is from. So, yep. Okay.
So,
mystery solved.
Very interesting.
I didn't know it was a mystery, but it was, and now it's solved.
I had not thought about it until just now. I'm like, wait, what does Pog mean? I don't know why I cared, but there it is for everyone who was curious. Passionfruit, Orange, Guava.
There we go. Well, with that said, thank you very much to Lance Conrad for the use of our theme song, Rebels of Our Own Kind. And if you enjoyed the episode, please let us know. Give us a rating, write a review, wherever you can do it, or you can share your favorite episodes. You can take some clips, share those on social media. You can also find us on all the things at NerdSloth HQ, or visit us at our website, NerdSloth.com. There you can learn more about us and keep up to date on all the latest and greatest projects we're working on. You can also find a link to our merch store and info about our Discord community and the Patreon, where you can get hundreds of hours of bonus content from all of the NerdSloth projects. And that's it. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
Work your muscles and don't skip leg day.
Passionfruit, Orange, Guava.
Yes.